Your father was a musician, wasn't he? He was a...
Yeah, my father was in gospel music.
Yeah.
So there's a group called the Harmonizing Four,
Mm-hmm.
and they were really big in gospel. They traveled all over the world, and so when we were little kids, we met all the groups, Dixie Hummingbirds, because they had gospel festivals every year in each city. So the Harmonizing Four were in Virginia, so they have in Richmond, Virginia. Dixie Hummingbirds were in Philly, and then I met Sam Cooke when he was with the Soul Stirrers, and I mean, we just met all of them.
Mm.
Yeah.
How was that to grow up in such a surrounding? I mean, your father's a musician and you want to become a musician. I mean, is there certain standards to be met?
Yeah. Well, I guess because a lot of people always thought that it was in certain people that gospel. A lot of people in gospel didn't want you to do anything else.
Yeah.
But my father was. I mean, he just loved music, and I mean, he was crazy about Duke Ellington and Fletcher Henderson. I mean, I didn't know too much about Fletcher Henderson, but he loved Fletcher Henderson and all the musicians. So they used to do the Apollo, the gospel show, but then he'd go and listen to the musicians, that were uptown.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and back then, I guess there wasn't that much TV. We had the radio, and you would really listen to the music, and so I guess I was blessed in that way. I remember when I grew up, I remember I discovered Sun Ra and Cecil Taylor, and when I went to New York, I didn't know anything about him before then. Yeah. So I would bring him records back home, and he would listen to them, and he could relate to it. I said, wow.
So he was quite advanced then, wasn't he?
Yeah, spiritually, oh my goodness. Oh my God, man. He was spiritually, he was extremely advanced. I can see that now. Oh, he never went to college or anything like that, but shoot, people go to college for 100 years and never get what he had.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
And your mother?
She was into music, but she had the other part, because he was always on the road, and so I mean, she had a great foundation. I mean, because we play in clubs, but I mean, she didn't play. I mean, she said, I don't go to no clubs, so that was you couldn't play cards in the house, but now when you travel around the world and you look at how things are.
Yeah.
That was the real foundation. That's right. But she come to concerts though, but she didn't play that club mess, and so she had a great foundation. Yeah.
It's more important for her to take care of the family things, and
that was it. Yeah. That was it. And that's that's the way it's supposed to be.
That's right.
So
keep the balance.
Yeah.
Did you play for any orchestras in school or things like that, or any bands? Did you do anything like that?
Oh yeah, well I just wanted to do everything music. So, because my father has a beautiful tenor voice, and I have two younger brothers. They inherited that beautiful tenor voice, Ray and Donald. Yeah. And I could always only just sing the bass, but I sang bass in the school choirs. And then when I think we got to high school, everybody wants to play trumpet and saxophone. So the band director said, no. Said, well, I need some tuba players. I said, shoot, I don't care. I want to be in the band, marching band. So I had to learn how to play the tuba. But back then, it wasn't like these new tubas. They made out of, back then they were heavy. And but it didn't matter. You were in the marching band. You played for all the the games, even in college, played for the football games and stuff like that. So then you sing bass in the choir, and then of course you're still playing the piano. So
busy.
Yeah, I mean, it was just music.
Were there any advantages to playing music at that time, being in the band? I mean, apart from the female side.
Oh yeah, right. That's I was, oh man, I was into music. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, because when I look back now and listen to other people's stories growing up, you know, I mean, I was into music, and with nothing else existed, and it's amazing.
What was your main meal?
That was it. I mean, that was it. That was everything. But then, of course, when I got to New York, it was a little bit different. You know, that's when the world, you know, grabs you, and you say, "Oh shoot!" But you gotta learn. So you gotta go through those trials and tribulations. But you know, I was blessed, so you know, I came through it.
Big cities demand, don't they?
Huh?
Big cities demand.
That's a great way of putting it. Big cities. New York is well, I guess, you know.
Demanding city.
That's, oh my goodness, it.
Eat you up and throw you away.
That's it, and that song is true. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, because there's so much diversity, especially coming from down south.
Yeah.
So you know, you're really into a whole new world.
Yeah.
Because Southern mentality is really, really different, and I'm laid back anyway. And New York is really aggressive.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have a clue.
No, nobody really told you much about New York before you.
Oh no. All I knew was Max Roach and Charlie Parker and Miles Davis and Train, and you know, and I caught the tail end of Birdland, the original Birdland, and I think Minton's had closed by then. This is all I was. That's the New York I was interested in.
Yeah.
And so I had an opportunity to work. I wanted to work with all the masters. I worked with Max Roach, Art Blakely. Of course, I had a chance to sit in with Train. Of course, ended up with Miles, and I remember when I was working with Max Roach, he was real tight with Papa Joe Jones.
Yeah.
And so he told me, he said, Papa Joe Jones need a piano player for the night. So why don't you go down there and work with him? You know, that you're young and you think you hip. I said, Max, you know, Papa Joe Jones, you know. So he said, man, look, he made me go, which is good. And man, Papa Joe Jones, man, was one of the best gigs I ever had. He gave me a whole history lesson.
Wow. I
said, wow. So, I mean, it's all these different experiences. It's great.
I mean, that's the thing. If you're really into it, then you can. It's probably It's probably easier then to, you know, connect with the artists. You know, if you come there and you don't, you know, you just want to be a trumpet player, but you don't really know who's who and what's what, and never really did much research. You probably had already the research done to some degree, so you were able to, you know, you knew Miles Davis and all these people, what they did, so when you went to speak with them, you kind of clicked.
Oh yeah, because you been listening to all those records.
Yeah.
You know, and oh man, especially, you know, when he had Train, and I mean, that was it. That's all he used to do, listen to records and read, and so, and then, you know, when you start working with them, you know, it's then they start telling you the stories, and because I know Max told me something that was really it's amazing. People don't realize, you know, we sitting at, well, when I went to college, Morgan State, and Gary Botts, we used to go to Gary Botts' house because he was from Baltimore, and we'd be in the basement listening to all this stuff and practicing, and it was a record. Charlie Parker, Max Roach, Mingus was on bass. I think Bud was playing the piano. I think it was right. And Dizzy Gillespie, I mean, they were playing. But Max told me, with all that creativity they were playing, a lot of times they were playing for dances. And the people were so in tune they can still be themselves and create. So the people would just listen and just dance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about. They didn't need that disco pounding in your head,
Yeah.
you know.
They can turn it inside out any way they want to.
Oh, inside anyway, and the people. So and that's how I mean people don't realize that's real dancing when you can just listen, and you just dance, and to them, turn it inside out, outside in, and but
just go with the flow.
that's it.
That's really what it is. Just go with the flow. But now we have all this marketing and all these programs and all these other things, you know, to maximize profit.
Oh,
You know,
that's it.
that's a killer. That kills music immediately. You can't maximize profit in music. Either you're making music or you're maximizing profit. It's one or the other. You can mix it, but something's going to suffer.
That's it. I mean, you know, because you can't. People don't realize you can't. I mean, you can make a chair and all that stuff. You can't. People don't realize, you can't make music. You know, it's if it doesn't. Music, you know, well, music comes from your inner being and your soul and your heart, and you can't. It's not like manufacturing something. So it's amazing. And I'm still trying to do it, you know, to make the music organic.
Yeah.
And just have every, you know, because people don't realize every note supposed to mean something. You know, you just to be. I try to tell a lot of young people, you know, notes are not music, and these things got to come from that special place that's inside of you. And I tell piano players sometimes, they look at me like I'm crazy. I said, man, playing the piano, you got to learn how to breathe through your fingers. You know, they don't understand that, but that's really what it. You know, you really have to. So it's just amazing.
Leon Thomas was a great artist. How was it to work with him? He's passed a long time ago now.
Yeah, but Leon was because that's how we got together. Because Farrell had heard me playing, and I was playing. You know, it was all grand, acoustic grand piano. But then sometimes you wanted more sound. You got 10 fingers, but you said, wow, you hear something else. So then you try to do something else. You're playing it, but you're not banging. You're just getting more sound. Mm-hmm. And Farrell was doing. He could sound like what you shouldn't be able to do, but he could sound like he was playing more than one note on the saxophone. And then we heard Leon yodeling. I said, "What in the world?" Yeah. And for some reason, when we all three got together, it was a perfect fit. I mean, didn't have to rehearse or nothing. And that spoils you because, you know, now people rehearse the whole year and don't come up with nothing. But, you know, I said, God, man, what? And then for musicians, you got to ask me too many questions. We got a problem. Yeah. So, but back then, you just played, and your souls just hooked up and became one. So, that was great.
You just work things out, doesn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, we just that's what you're always, you know, looking for. Just like, you know, because for a while I had stopped, and then like you were talking about the drummer, the young drummer I had, Lee Pearson. Mm-hmm. I think I met him. He was about 20 something. Mm-hmm. I started playing. Next thing I know, this boy starts playing, and I said, "What in the?" Mm-hmm. And you know, I'm playing, and he's all up inside of me. I said, "What?" Mm. I said, "Oh, you want to play some music, huh?" Mm. I said, "Okay, all right then." So then he started. I didn't realize there was still that many young musicians out there. There's a whole lot of them that can really play, and they're not even working. And he started introducing me to him. I said, "Oh, okay, then well."
It's a lot.
I said, "Well, let's go play then." So.
He's a great drummer. I saw him. I saw what he was doing. Oh,
yeah.
He's got some abilities.
That's it. I mean, that's what you want. You want that. I mean, he's just natural.
Yeah.
And actually, he met Max when he was, Max showed him some things, Max Roach, and he's definitely studied the history of the music, and so because that's the main reason why you plays, so that when you get those moments and you start playing and something happens, I don't know what happens, because like we say, like when you playing, I tell people when you playing and you don't know what you're doing, I mean you really playing then. I mean, so you wait for those moments, and boy, when they happen, that's when everything's worthwhile.
You shifted.
Yeah. Because I remember, because people used to tell us when Pharrell and Leon, we were together, and those moments happened, they said, well, I know we did a concert at Temple University in Philly, they said, they said, y'all levitated. I said, oh, okay, I wish y'all had to film this some kind of way, but, it's just one of them things.